April 21st, 1977, Dover, Massachusetts, 10:30 p.m. 17-year-old Bill Bartlett is driving down Farm Street with two friends when his headlights catch something on a stone wall. At first, he thinks it's a dog or cat, but as he gets closer, his blood runs cold. The creature turns its head. It has a massive, watermelon-shaped head on a thin, spindly body. No nose, no mouth, just two huge, glowing orange eyes that reflect his headlights like mirrors. The skin is hairless, rough-textured, and flesh-colored. Long, thin fingers wrap around the stones. The sighting lasts 5 seconds. But Bill is so shaken his hands tremble on the steering wheel. His friends didn't see it clearly, but Bill did, and he'll never forget those eyes. Welcome to the Dover Demon case, one of the most credible and bizarre cryptid sightings in American history. Today, we're diving into a case that stands out in cryptozoology for one reason. It's actually believable. No elaborate backstory. No ancient legends, no Magia circus. Just for teenagers in a quiet Massachusetts town who saw something that defied explanation over the course of 48 hours, then never spoke about it again for profit or fame. The Dover Demon has no connection to folklore or mythology. It appeared out of nowhere, was seen by multiple independent witnesses, and then vanished forever. No one knows what it was. No one's seen it since. And that's what makes this case so compelling. Over the next 10 minutes, we'll break down the sightings, examine the witnesses, explore the theories, and try to figure out what really happened during those 2 strange nights in Dover. Dover in 1977 was the quintessential New England small town. Population around 5,000. Wealthy, quiet, safe. Rolling hills, stone walls, old farms being converted into suburban developments. The kind of place where nothing ever happens. It's important to understand this context. This wasn't some backwoods area with a history of monster legends. Dover was and still is an affluent Boston suburb. The witnesses weren't superstitious countryfolk or attention seekers. They were normal teenagers from good families. The area where the sightings occurred was rural, but not remote. Farm Street, Miller High Road, these were actual streets with houses, not deep wilderness. Whatever these kids saw, they saw it in their own neighborhood. Let's go back to that first encounter. Bill Bartlett, 17, is driving with friends Mike Matsoka and Andy Brody. They're heading down Farm Street around 10:30 p.m. Bill's driving, so he's got the best view. His headlights illuminate something crawling on a stone wall on the left side of the road. For a split second, he thinks it's a dog or cat. Then he processes what he's actually seeing. The creature is small, maybe 3 to 4 feet tall. Its head is huge and disproportionate, shaped like a watermelon or a light bulb. The body is thin, almost emaciated, with long, spindly limbs. The fingers are impossibly long and thin, wrapping around the stones. The skin is hairless and textured, described as rough like sandpaper and a weird peachy tan color. But it's the eyes that haunt him. They're massive, taking up a significant portion of the face, and they glow not reflect, but actually glow a bright orange color when his headlights hit them. The creature turns its head slowly to look directly at the car. No facial features beyond those eyes. No visible nose or mouth. Just smooth alien flesh and those enormous glowing eyes. Bill is freaking out. Did you see that? His friends saw something briefly, but didn't get a good look. Bill is so disturbed that as soon as he drops them off, he goes straight home and draws what he saw. The sketch shows a creature that looks like nothing on Earth, part alien, part something else entirely. His father notices he's shaken up. Bill tells him what happened. His dad believes something scared him, but figures it was probably just a weird-looking dog or a calf in the dark. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Just a few hours later, around midnight, 15-year-old John Baxter is walking home alone down Miller High Road, about a mile from where Bill saw the creature. He notices a figure approaching him from about 30 feet away. It's small, human-shaped, walking upright. John assumes it's someone he knows. Dover's a small town, after all. He calls out, "Who is it?" The figure stops. Then it suddenly scurries off the road and down an embankment. Now John's curious and a little concerned. He follows carefully, stopping at the top of a shallow gully. That's when he sees it clearly in the shadows. A small figure is standing next to a tree about 30 feet away. It's gripping the tree trunk with those same impossibly long fingers. The body is thin and monkey-like. The head is huge and oval-shaped, sitting on a thin neck. And though it's darker now, No headlights. John can make out those same large eyes. They stare at each other for several seconds. John is terrified. The creature isn't moving, just watching him with those eyes. Finally, John backs away slowly, then turns and runs the rest of the way home. When he gets home, he's visibly shaken. He tells his family what happened and draws a sketch. He hasn't talked to Bill Bartlett. He has no idea that just hours earlier, someone else saw something identical. The next night, April 22nd, around midnight, 18-year-old Will Tainter is driving with his girlfriend Abby Brabham, also 15, on Springdale Avenue. Abby suddenly screams. Will slams on the brakes. Sitting on the side of the road is the same creature. Abby gets the best look. She describes exactly what the others saw. Huge head, thin body, long limbs, hairless peach-colored skin. But she describes the eyes differently. She says they were green, not orange. This detail would later become important. Cliff only catches a brief glimpse before it scurries away into the darkness, but Abby is certain of what she saw. When she draws her sketch later, it matches the others almost perfectly, except for the eye color. Here's the critical thing. At this point, Will Tainter had heard about Bill Bartlett's sighting. They were friends, but Abby hadn't. She had no idea what Bill or John had reported, yet her description matched theirs independently. The investigation word spreads fast in a small town. By April 23rd, Dover is buzzing. But here's what didn't happen. No media frenzy, no UFO investigators descending on the town, no mass hysteria. The story does reach cryptozoologist Loren Coleman, who lived nearby. Coleman was intrigued because these weren't the typical monster reports he usually dealt with. These were credible teenagers from good families with no history of pranks or drug use. They weren't asking for attention. In fact, most of them seemed embarrassed by the whole thing. Coleman interviewed all the witnesses separately. Their stories remained consistent. No contradictions, no embellishments. They all drew remarkably similar sketches without consulting each other. The local police investigated briefly, but found no evidence of anything unusual. No tracks, no physical evidence, nothing. What impressed Coleman most was what the witnesses didn't do. They didn't try to profit from their story. They didn't seek publicity. Most of them stopped talking about it pretty quickly because they were being teased at school. These weren't the actions of hoaxers. The name Dover Demon was actually coined by Coleman, not the witnesses. They just called it the creature or that thing. So what did these kids see? Let's look at the theories. Theory 1. Hoax. The skeptics default. But there are problems with this. The witnesses didn't know each other well enough to coordinate a complex hoax. They gave independent, matching descriptions. They never tried to profit from the story, and they were embarrassed by the attention, not seeking it. If it was a hoax, it's one of the best executed and most pointless in history. Theory 2. Misidentified animal. Could it have been a dog, calf, or deer? The problem is that all four witnesses described features that don't match any known animal. The massive head-to-body ratio, the glowing eyes, the hairless skin, the long thin fingers. These were local kids familiar with local animals. They'd seen dogs and deer before. Some suggested a moose calf or a baby horse, but the descriptions don't match. Others proposed it was a diseased or mutated animal. But what disease causes your head to triple in size and your fingers to elongate? Theory 3. Alien, extraterrestrial. The appearance matches classic gray alien descriptions. Large head, big eyes, thin body, gray or tan skin. Some UFO researchers jumped on this, claiming it was an alien visitor. But there were no UFO sightings in Dover at the time, no missing time, no abduction reports. If it was an alien, it was just wandering around suburban Massachusetts for no apparent reason. Theory 4. Cryptid unknown species. Maybe it was an undiscovered species or an escaped exotic pet. But what species? Nothing in the fossil record or biological database matches the description. And if it was an escaped pet, where did it come from and where did it go? Theory 5. Mass hallucination for different people, 2 different nights, matching descriptions of something that doesn't exist. That's not how hallucinations work. Mass hallucinations require people to be together and influenced by each other. These were independent sightings. The Dover Demon is significant because it's the anti-Bigfoot. There's no long tradition of sightings. No cultural mythology behind it. No grainy photos or plaster casts. Just for credible witnesses. 48 hours, and then nothing. It appeared, was seen by multiple people who had no reason to lie, and vanished without a trace. That's the pattern that makes cryptozoologists take notice. The case also demonstrates how a genuine mystery should look. The witnesses weren't attention seekers, they didn't write books or go on talk shows. Most of them rarely spoke about it again. They just saw something bizarre and reported it honestly. Over 45 years later, all the original witnesses still maintain they saw what they saw. They haven't changed their stories or added dramatic details. They're middle-aged now with careers and families, and they still stand by their teenage accounts. So what was the Dover demon? Honestly, we don't know. And that's okay. Not every mystery needs a solution. Maybe it was a creature passing through, a visitor from somewhere unknown that appeared for 2 nights and left. Maybe it was something science hasn't discovered yet. Maybe it was all a misunderstanding, a series of coincidences that created a legend. What we can say is this: 4 credible witnesses saw something in Dover, Massachusetts, in April 1977 that they couldn't explain. Something with a massive head, glowing eyes, and a body unlike any known animal. They reported it honestly, dealt with the ridicule, and moved on with their lives. The Dover demon has never been seen again. No similar sightings before or since. It remains one of cryptozoology's most intriguing one-hit wonders, a brief glimpse of something unknown that vanished back into the darkness. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more unexplained mysteries, and let me know in the comments, what do you think the Dover demon was? Stay curious, stay skeptical, and maybe stay off Farm Street at night.